everybody, it is Bubz. So today we are doing an Ask Bubz video. So let's get started with your questions. Do you have many close friends? I don't know what defines as many, but I would say I have a handful of close friends, and for me that is plentiful. I would say girlfriend-wise, really close girlfriends, I have 3 close girlfriends and 2 close guy friends. I don't even see them often. I mean, quite a few of them live on the other side of the world, but it doesn't matter at all. I just feel blessed. I have someone that I can just, tell my deepest problems to, and I'd rather have like a small circle of friends rather than having, a lot of friends who, are just so-so. Any celebrity that you think / get told that you look like. I know this is going to make some of you guys cringe, but some people, quite a few people have actually told me that I look a little like Jessica from Girls' Generation. I know, peek away, but it has happened. Have you ever been losing friends along the way when you were chasing your dreams? Not that I lost friends per se. I would say it's more of, during some points where I hit certain milestones. I had some friends that just couldn't be happy for me. At the time, it did matter to me because these are people that, mean a lot to me, so I want them to care. But then I realized, it doesn't matter. And I don't like to think of it as, jealousy. I think about, do I really need someone to come up to me and say, oh my gosh, you're the best, So it's not really needed. And sometimes I think back to the times where maybe I've been a little insensitive to my friends, and I don't mean it. Sometimes, I would just come out with good news and tell them, things that are happening in my life. I think back for them, maybe like not so much is going on, and in the end Tim and I did talk about it, and we just decided maybe let's not be so insensitive, even though it's with no bad intentions at all. But now I barely even talk about, my work or anything to my own friends. It's just something I don't really talk about. So I'm all in for listening about my friends and what they get up to, but for me, it's just something that I just keep to myself, or, I can share it with Tim, which is more than enough for me. What is your favorite quote from the Bible? Mine is Isaiah 41:10, and it is, do not fear, for I am with you. So whenever I feel anxious or I feel worried, I just repeat this over and over and over, and it just calms me and it just restores me. You want your child to grow up in Hong Kong or in Northern Ireland? I hope this doesn't offend anybody. This is just a choice that, Tim and I made together, but preferably we don't want to bring up our child in Hong Kong. Our baby's gonna be born in Hong Kong, and most likely our baby will probably spend the first year of its life in Hong Kong, but our plans is to eventually move back into the UK. And not that I feel like you can't have a real childhood in Hong Kong. Of course you can, but the childhood that we have envisioned for our child is back home in UK. Just, from our relatives and, friends who did grow up in Hong Kong. I just feel like Hong Kong is probably a place that's too busy. I feel like I don't want my child to go through too much pressure. It gets very competitive in Hong Kong. It's such a busy place. So what I would like is for our child to be back in the UK, and where there's more space, they can go and play outside. I had an amazing childhood in the UK, so I kind of want my child to have that, and I really enjoyed my education and everything back home. We don't know whether we will definitely return back to Northern Ireland, but definitely back in the UK. What are your first thoughts when you wake up? Usually it's, what time is it, or do I need to pee? Any regrets on your first relationship? I think we all have regrets in our first relationships because we're clueless. We don't know what we're supposed to do. No one tells you. It's not something that you can just read off a book, something that you can only experience yourself. I guess I regret being a pushover. I kind of let my ex-boyfriend boss me around and tell me what to do, and I really regret letting myself ditch my friends for a boy. And I really do believe when you break up, as for a reason, so I regret like breaking up and going back with him, breaking up and then going back with him. Have you thought of baby names yet? Yes, we have. We actually know the sex of the baby. We're not exposing it until a few weeks later. If the doctor is really right about guessing the sex of the baby, then we already have a name for our child. and we actually thought about this name like years ago. Are you a full-time YouTuber? I would say I am, you know what I mean? Like we do have other ventures and stuff, but I would say YouTube is something that I think about every day. You know, I love to keep up with you guys through social media and everything. I enjoy vlogging. I'm always thinking for videos for Bubz Beauty. So yeah, I would say I'm a full-time YouTuber. Would you consider vlogs of your child as it grows up so you will have video memories of their life? This is something that we haven't really thought about yet. Of course, I want to capture, moments of, our child growing up. I'm not really sure how it works. I don't want to get to like an area where I feel like I'm exploiting my child. But at the same time, we love doing vlogs, so it's nice to do vlogging with maybe the baby in our lives. So I don't want, so maybe not as a baby as a focal point, but just as, part of our daily life. What is something you think people always think of you when they meet you for the first time? I think it's definitely, wow, she's really short. What is my biggest accomplishment so far? I remember thinking about this question and I thought long and hard. I feel like I've been blessed with a lot of opportunities, but I would say my biggest accomplishment has to be meeting such a great guy like Tim. Tim is the type of guy that would do anything for his friends, and his friends know that already. You ask him to walk a mile, he'll walk an extra mile with you. We're so different, but somehow we're similar, and we just really click. And he's just someone I can just totally be myself with, and he never fails to make me laugh every single day. And even though he bugs me like all the time and he can be so gross and vulgar, I just think he's awesome. Where did the name Bubz come from? Tim used to call me Bubby, and that's how Bubby turned to Bubz. So these days, most people know me as Bubz rather than my real name, which is Lindy. And both is fine, both is very personal to me. Okay, so these are some of your questions answered today. So thank you guys so much for your questions. So if you want to ask me a question, then remember to follow me on Twitter at Bubz Beauty and hashtag Ask Bubz so I can see your questions. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I shall see you soon. Bye everybody!